Here's a 2020 hindsight, a lockdown leadership lesson I've learned during this interesting year. Embrace uncertainty. Danish physicist Niels Bohr said, "Prediction is very difficult, especially if it's about the future." I do like a physicist with a sense of humour, but it's very true. We do like to think that we're in control, that our futures are certain. We are the most insured, some would argue overinsured, people in history. We try and reduce risk, increase certainty, and think that we can control our futures. Once again, there's nothing wrong with those things, but if we do not learn to embrace uncertainty, we can be left disappointed, resentful, and cynical. It can lead to a lack of resilience. Yet if we embrace uncertainty, recognize that the environment and life in general can not always be shaped into our desired state, we can be both realistic and resilient. This year taught me that embracing uncertainty is essential to sustainable growth as an individual, as a leader, and for our organizations. Embracing uncertainty is another mindset paradox. I've been challenged by this in 2020. We all want the best, the most positive outcomes for us and those close to us, and for that matter, for society in general. Yet, when we consider 2020, we can see how fragile and unpredictable our futures are. So we need to be mindful of uncertainty without letting it paralyze us. I found a positive outlook creates expectation and good outcomes. Yet, if we think our futures will be perfect, free from conflict, without crisis, then we are impacted by such things. We are often unable to react in a way that allows us to overcome. Whilst positive thinking has its merits, if it's anchored in a no harm will come to me perspective, unfortunately we will be sideswiped by life. Occasionally I work with younger leaders. I love the enthusiasm and passion of new generations, and yet I think my generation, the baby boomers, I maintain my claim to being the last baby boomer, have in some ways failed the next generations. Simon Sinek, in his excellent interview about millennials, said that we created a generation with low resilience. Points out that many mothers have done the homework of their children. We've told a generation they can do anything they want just because they want to. And we've created a generation that needs safe rooms and are easily triggered. In an environment like 2020, where we need to embrace uncertainty and build resilience, tragically, we've not equipped millennials to thrive. The future is uncertain. Of this, we can be certain. Things will go wrong. Whenever you try to seek change in an organization, the first thing you need is to find a reason. A reason to change can be created or articulated as a point of relevance that people can see as a need to change. One of the great things about 2020 is we have the most compelling reason to change for a generation. Organizations that have embraced this uncertainty have been able to shift their organizations not just incrementally, but significantly. The number of leaders I work with who have moved their organizations dynamically and significantly this year is extraordinary. They have literally jumped years of evolutionary incremental change. In a few months, I saw an article yesterday that said telehealth has shifted 10 years in 6 months. Never waste a good crisis, as they say. Embrace uncertainty. Be comfortable with the knowledge that not all things will go our way. We cannot predict the future. Whilst this can produce fear and paralysis, if we embrace uncertainty, we can be both productive and resilient. The Kiwi writer Bernard Beckett sums it up well. Human spirit is the ability to face the uncertainty of the future with curiosity and optimism. It is the belief that problems can be solved and differences resolved. Even in the midst of the craziness of 2020 and with 2020 hindsight, I've learned this year the importance of embracing uncertainty.